Oh, man. It's so hot. Hey, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, the internet's sweatiest music nerd. Let's talk about this new Jhené Aiko album over here. It's titled Trip, and it is one of the longer projects I've come across this year. It is 1 hour and 25 minutes, and after listening to this thing pretty intently, I am just floored as to why this album is this long, why it would need to be this long. But I have a few theories. Overall, the vibe of the project, the seamlessness of it, and the very even tone that one track after the next brings, it kind of reads to me a little bit like Drake's More Life compilation, album, mixtape, playlist, whatever the heck you want to call it. In that it seems like the goal and the idea going into this project was not to craft a series of very sticky and memorable songs that one might want to come back to, but rather one seamless vibe that sort of continuously flows from one end of the album to the next, almost trapping the listener into the sound of the record so that they don't go anywhere. There's nothing really kind of pushing engagement from the listener that hard on this project. It's very, very, I guess, kind of listless and doesn't really have a strong sense of direction. I mean, there's even a handful of tracks on here. There's an interlude track. There are a few other tracks that have a title, and then shortly after comes open parentheses, freestyle, close parentheses, which leads me to believe that maybe there wasn't that much planning going into that particular track, at least on a vocal level. Like, there are at least some elements of improvisation here. And it all kind of builds up into, I don't know, this uniform experience that, to me, as someone who wants to really deeply engage with something, that wants to be really hardcore stimulated by something, it feels a little bland. But I know that that's not the goal of this project. This project is trying to be very vast, very spacey, although I like those ideas in the abstract. I feel like this trip falls really short of actually being trippy or psychedelic outside of just an overuse of reverb. I don't find the instrumentals on this thing to be all that trippy. I don't find the instrumentals on this thing to be all that psychedelic. I don't find the sounds to be all that surreal or adventurous. It's just kind of sleepy. The whole album overall is just a little sleepy. And Jhené's voice, who, I mean, I've never found her to have the most distinct vocal in the R&B field. It kind of makes it easy to just play it super, super, super mellow. I mean, even some of the guests on here are playing it super mellow. Sway Lee, when he appeared on this thing, almost made me just want to go to sleep. And I don't know, man. It's almost like that is the goal of the project. Like, Jhené really just wants to lull listeners into this 90-minute experience that just kind of locks them into one stream after the next, one stream after the next. Like, you could easily lock somebody into the same vibe for an hour. But no, this project is like 90 minutes long. It is over 20 tracks long. And it seems like this is the kind of music and the sort of playlistery that we can look forward to now that streams are ultimately what are making money. You're just kind of locking people into these playlists of original songs that all kind of deliver this uniform, very bland, very nothing really sticks out, no peaks or valleys kind of vibe. The flow is very even, the flow is very uneventful, and it's all just kind of purposefully supposed to play as background music to something else, whether that be like some sex, small party or gathering, a little bit of some smoke sesh, I don't know, something like that. It's very uneventful, and I don't know. It's sort of sad to see things going in that direction, because it seems like, now that Drake has kind of opened those floodgates and made some people rethink, oh, okay, it's like this is almost like a different way of going about this. This is like a smart business-like way of releasing music that kind of addresses the elephant in the room of how people are engaging with a lot of music these days. I mean, this not only goes to what Drake did on More Life, but also just the fact that a lot of people hit up Spotify just to listen to playlists and listen to playlists in particular genres, and also to listen to playlists that bring certain vibes that don't really demand anything that deep from the listener, just to kind of paint the background a little bit to provide a bit of sonic and auditory pleasantness to whatever situation they're in. And now that those have just become more popular than ever, of course, artists are going to respond to that by saying, well, I could provide a playlist, as it were, and just make a playlist of my own music that's kind of aimless or not really that engaging, or sort of just meanders for 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 minutes or whatever, and just list that out until it's 90 minutes long. Yeah, I mean, that's sort of how this album is reading to me. It seems like the moves this album is making are kind of being informed by decisions made given the current music listening landscape, because these songs are not really that bold, they're not that adventurous, they're not that decisively written, a lot of navel gazing, just a lot of reverb, not a whole lot of bite, not a whole lot of sharp melodies or anything like that. It's just very even, it's very easygoing, and just a little lifeless in my opinion. But what do you think of this thing? Let me know what you thought down in the comments. Are my theories here making any sense? Or did you find this album to be incredibly vibrant and engaging and fun? Let me know what your thoughts are, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Over here next to my head is another video you can check out, or you can click on the link to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Forever.